Welcome to the High-Tech Investments News Report for Week 18. The news report covers some of the many investments projects High-Tech Investments is currently involved in so you can follow our progress. We hope you will enjoy this news feed and look forward to your comments and remarks.
Hi, Bo here and welcome back to this week's news report, where once again it is time to have a look back, not just for a week, but for an entire month, because we have now entered into the month of May, and that also means that we're going to have a look at all the profits that we have actually received, all our platforms, all the different EAs that we have running here at the moment, and hopefully you have followed us for many weeks, months, and even years to actually show you that when we tell you that we have huge profit actually soared here for the month of April. We have EAs that has done more than 50% in here. Which ones? Well, you just have to wait and see. But obviously it's going to be all clear to you because all of the EAs did extremely well for the month of April. Some of them have the all-time highs. Other ones are the best for 2025. So we're going to have a look through this, and hopefully you'll join me in the next 20 minutes to figure out exactly which ones are the best ones at the moment. We also have the new simple grid trading generation 3, and also generation 4 is now out. We have already set up a website where you can find a lot more details. You can figure out exactly what it does per week. And obviously also this one here, we're going to have a closer look at what it can do in an entire month. And we have released another video again regarding the grid trading. This is the second one in the series. Very important. If you are a grid trader, definitely I suggest you go and have a look at this one, because this will certainly help you understand exactly why you are blowing your accounts, what needs to be changed, what needs to be updated. Once you get these things under your skin into the everyday time of testing, then obviously you'll have a lot better knowledge and understanding of how to do this trading without blowing all your accounts. And as you see here, at the same time, get some very good profits in here. We're also going to go by Alex, an expert Forex. He has a few videos out also this particular week here. We're going to tell you exactly what that is all about. And then you can see if you want to have a look at some of these, because there's many interesting things coming out. We're in a period at the moment with Expert Forex where he's actually releasing the simple series of the more advanced EAs he had a couple of years ago. So these seems to be working quite well, especially for the simple grid trader in here. So join me for the next 20 minutes and let's get into it while you find your favorite beverage, and I'll let you know exactly how everything has gone in the past month. So despite we haven't heard anything from the Yieldnodes team or even the Decenomy team in here, we still want to have a closer look at what has actually changed when it comes to the masternoding. So as usual, on the Yieldnodes website, click on the audit coin reserves in here. It will take you to this particular page and see that for this particular week, well, it looks like we have a few more masternodes set up. So obviously the value has gone up. That's always quite nice. We can also see for the PNY 283 masternodes running. Now it's up to 285. And we can also see on the SAP it was 3943, 3955 now. So also 12 extra ones in here, and the same goes for some of the other coins. So it looks like somebody's still taking care of things behind the scenes, but it's all about the value, and the value of course for the Royal SAP coin in here, which was supposed to be the crown or the crown jewel. So in the Decenomy / Yieldnodes crown, well, it doesn't look very good. As you can see, there's very low trading, pretty much the same place as it has been for a very long time now. There's a few buys in here, but not enough flow, of course, to basically increase the amount for the value of the coin here at the moment. So very disappointing. What's not disappointing is obviously our staking, because we are still hoping, waiting that something's going to happen. So why not stake your coins in here? If the value is low, it might come up. Or as you can see here, for the last week, we did actually 4,251 SAP in here. We did 4.1%, and we now have more than 100,000 SAP coins, which would have been a lot of money in the good old days when things were almost at $1 US. Obviously, it's not anymore. We don't know if it's going to come back at all. And for the month of April, It looks like we've been staking around 9,000 in here. So that is obviously a good number, but if there's no value behind the coin, well, it doesn't really make much sense, does it now, unfortunately. The PNY also done well with more than 10,773 PNY in the past week, or 10.9%. When we look at the month of April, so that has been a record high, 34,181 PNY coins in here has been staked, so that is very good. That continues to be at 133 PNY, so going in the right direction. Going in the right direction, well, pretty much Bitcoin versus USDT is at exactly the same level as we were last week. You can see it traded sideways, so for the first part of the week. After that, it tried to reach again the ceiling of 100,000, but only made 98,000. And since then, it has been sliding down. There is some retracement here at the moment, and that actually puts it on the exact same level as we were a week ago. So not really much happening at the moment. I think that one is very much in limbo, because when you look at the numbers, the lowest part we were in was 93,000. The highest one is 98. So there's very low volatility on the coin here at the moment. So I think, again, we have to wait and see what's going to happen in this week's crazy news cycle. When we go to the first of our EAs, which is the Wave Liberator for the month of April, the top 5 EAs in here, that will give you a good idea of what kind of portfolio you can put together. The top one is actually Euro Swiss francs, $288, 28.8%. We have the Euro USD at $239, or 23.9%. New Zealand Japanese, the only Japanese in here, with $207, or 20.7%, so well done. New Zealand Swiss francs, $184, 18.4%. And then Euro Great British Pounds, $182, 18.2%. And that entire portfolio in here for the month of April created $1,100, or 22.0%. So this is very good, but there's, trust me, a lot more to come. Now the entire portfolio in here of the 22 EAs, look at that nice little graph in here. The balance continues to go up. Floating profit and loss is actually less than 8,000 here at the moment. So it has the drawdown very well under control. Total returns 22.3%. But again, don't forget that we are actually running these, so you can trade them on $1,000 accounts. That means the monthly returns is around 11% for the entire portfolio, 3% on the weekly ones. And then the trade wins is actually pretty good, 68%. With 14 trades per day. And now look at the history, 622 days in here. And all of these are on the website for the high-tech investment. You have all of them for the coupling service. So definitely you can go there. You can pick up the best ones, the right currency pairs. And again, have a look at the top 5 for the month, because that will give you a very good idea. And if you also go for the entire portfolio, you will see exactly what I'm showing you here, that the entire portfolio made $2,829, and we have to go all the way back here to 2024, back in October, where this was actually outperformed. There was also one here in November. So very good levels after a couple of very low ones. And again, it looked like there was a bit of limbo for 2025. Good to see that this has actually come alive again, and hopefully that will also continue. Same thing for the RSI Liberator, has done extremely well. Also here, actually a bit better than the Wave. Here we have the US Swiss francs on top of $288 for the month, 28.8%, very, very nice. Euro Great British Pounds, $237, or 23.7%. And then Aussie Japanese, $234, 23.4%, with the Aussie USD coming in at 217, 21.7%. And then Great British Pounds Swiss francs, $207, 20.7%. And this one here, if you also tied this one up in a nice bow as a portfolio, that portfolio would have created $1,183, or 23.7%. And that's also something, again, for the coupling service. So go and have a look at that for sure. And here is the entire portfolio doing quite well. We can see that we had a nice jump. So in the beginning of April, since then it has continued. Floating profit of loss is still very much under control, minus 11,000. Profits is up to 28,000. And overall, the monthly returns is running around 9%. And it's a bit lower than the Wave one, but still doing quite well with a trade wins of 66. So also here, quite nice. We have 18 trades per day and a history of 391 days. So hard to beat when you can continue to show. And that's also what we have on the website in here. A lot of these for the RSI is actually on, and more will actually come on. There's not many left that hasn't come on. So definitely something to go and have a closer look at. And then when we take a look at the entire portfolio here, this month was the second highest overall since we have introduced all these, at least up until April 2024. $3,188 is actually what we made for the month of April here in 2025. Only surpassed by back in July, so about 9 months ago. And again, very good numbers considering what we had in the past couple of months and beginning of 2025. It was a bit on the lean side. Now definitely the profits are up. The profits are even higher now when we go to the Hedged EA for April. Have a look at this again. The US Swiss francs, $488 or 48.8%. We have the Euro Aus with $465, 46.5%. And then Great British Pound, Swiss francs, $448, 44.8%. And then Euro Swiss francs, $435, 43.5%, with the Euro USD as low as $407, 40.7%. So all of them above 40. So that is a portfolio that you can definitely take to the bank. It made $2,243, 44.9%. So go have a look, see if this is the combination that you want to have in here. And then while we do that, then let's have a look at the portfolio, because the Hedged has a higher floating profit or loss than the other EAs in here. It did cash in, you can see quite well in here. After that, it has slowed down to the same level as we had before, but it's doing well. And also with the monthly returns at the moment, so that jumped up from about, I think it was 1.3, 1.4. So now we're up to about 17% on $1,000 accounts with a weekly return of 4%. Trade wins are high, 70%, so that's good. Trades per day also high with 21.5, and a history now of 105 days. So definitely it's a good solid results where you can find some of these already on here. We'll again go out and reach out to Expert Forex now that the market has calmed down a bit again, and put a few more forward, so you have more options here in the future for the copy link service. Hedged EA overall, have a look at the entire portfolio, $5,082, simply blowing everything else out of the water. We only started this one here in 2025, but it has certainly come alive. It has been doing extremely well overall. Now we have a new video out here also, and that actually shows you again the settings and the way that we actually set all our EAs up, because all of them is actually working on grid trading. All the numbers you have seen here so far, this particular video in here tells you what you need to have a look at. First, when you want to set up your robots, when you want to set up your EAs, when you want to set up your grids. The second video we have just released last week is then also for the gap and lot size hacks in here, showing you actually how to minimize the risk, how you actually know how much you are allowed to do on the lot sizing, what kind of grid size, how many entries you can actually have. These are extremely valuable to have if you understand that type of technique, and also some of the tools that I show in here. Then you're not going to blow your accounts ever again, or at least you have a good chance of better understanding some of the mechanisms that goes in here. So based on this, we have the simple grid trader for the month of April. Now this is not a full month. That's also why you see the numbers is a bit lower, because once you always start this EA, it takes a bit of time until things are actually running at full pace. And this one here has only been running for about 3 weeks. We can still see that the Great British Pounds, Swiss francs did well, $116, 11.6%. We have the Great British Pounds, New Zealand at 106 or 10.6%. Euro New Zealand, $103, so 10.3%. With the CAD Swiss francs at $79, 7.9%. And then the US Swiss francs, $74, 7.4%. And then $478 for that top 5 in here, 9.6%. So this could also be a very good portfolio. There might be a few more Swiss francs in here. You might want to swap them out, and that's also why you can find a lot more details on the high-tech investment website. We show you everything in here. Everything is set up. Everything is brand new. We'll show you both the weekly and the monthly results, and you can also see the entire portfolio in here. And that actually looks like this. As you can see, a very nice graph starting to have the right shape, up, up, and up. Balance, we have 16 $1,000 accounts. I believe we're going to get up to around 20 or 22. I'm not exactly sure how we're going to do this yet, but I want a few more in there, definitely. Trading a few more currency pairs. Close profits, already 1,200, so above the floating profit and loss, which is quite unusual for these grid trading ones. It normally takes either weeks or months sometimes to get past the first part in here, but this looks pretty good. Monthly returns is 13.7, so as this one has been set up now with $1,000 demo accounts in here, then it's a lot easier to follow this particular one. We didn't have that option earlier on. Weekly returns is 3.1. Trade wins, look at that, very high, 87. So that's quite nice with 5,000 pips down already. Trades per day is 9, so that is a bit on the lower side in here, similar to the Bell Trader so far. History is 18 days, so as I said, it's not really too many weeks again here with this grid trader, but it looks very good from what I've seen so far. And if we have a look, last week was actually better with 546. This week we have 473. So that is slightly down, but still better than the initial part of 241. But also there, we only had 8, not 16. Now we have 16, and the monthly returns for the month of April is 1,041. And you can see also for the month of May already, even though we are very early in this month, it's already up by 220. So that looks extremely encouraging for the next month to come. Now you might have been looking for which one was actually the high jumper for the week. Well, it's the Lucky Trader. It has done extremely well. And this is the random part in here again. But the profits are not so random. But look at it. The US Swiss francs, $578 or 57.8% in here in pure profits just for 1 month. Crazy. Euro Swiss francs, $570, 57%. And then it drops down to Euro USD with $442, 42.4%. Aussie Swiss francs, $373, 37.3%. And then Euro CAD, $285, 28.5%. This portfolio also in here. Again, yes, there's quite a few Swiss francs, but that would have made you $2,231 or 44.6%. That is simply crazy numbers, so quite staggering. But the Lucky Trader, it comes out with some massive good results. This time around, it does have a floating profit of loss that is a bit high. We still have a higher close profit, so hopefully that will come down again. So this is again due to all these different things coming out from the US markets here at the moment, basically spooking everybody and running away from the US dollar here at the moment into currencies like Swiss francs, Japanese, euro, things like this. Overall, the Lucky Trader is doing well with 14% on $1,000 accounts or 3% on the weekly one. Trade wins almost here at 70%. And then we have 22 trades per day. That also helps with a history now of 6 months or 183 days. So it's doing extremely well. And you can obviously find it on the high-tech investment website. A lot of them are on the coupling service already. I will try again with Alex and go out and get some more on there. So you have hopefully all of them at some given point, but Alex only wants to put a few on every single week or every single month sometimes. It all depends on obviously also how the currency pair is actually trading. So for the month, we have 4,537 in net profit. That is the highest since we actually started the Lucky Trader. So very, very good numbers, and it's almost 3 times as high as some of the numbers we had, for example, here from January and February. So extremely well, very nice to see. And we are looking at even in November when we started it off, well, that got outperformed, so by a lot. Now we have to see if we're going to drop down to the same level as we had before. Now, not only the lucky trader is actually getting into the 50% mark, also the bell trader for April did extremely well. With the Euro Swiss francs, we have $528 or 52.8%. So actually 3 in here doing more than 50% overall, for covered over 2 different EAs. Quite impressive. Great British Pounds CAD, $430 or 43%. We have Aussie USD at $348 or 34.8%. And then we have New Zealand Swiss francs, $223, 22.3%. And then New Zealand USD is the lowest one of the top 5s with $219, 21.9%. Also here, very good portfolio. You can use that also for a future setup. And that created $1,748 or 35% just for the month. It's outperformed by several 100%, 10 or 8% is normally what we are going for. So this blows all of it. Obviously the bell trader again, we have in here also 16 different accounts, and they were also set up on the $10,000 accounts at the time. Floating profit and loss is a bit high. It was very low in the beginning, continued to do so. So this one also has to recover a bit compared to the closed profits. Monthly returns has been going up also in the last couple of weeks, around 9% for $1,000 accounts. Trade wins are still good with 70%, and then trades per day about 9.5, and we have a history of 154 days, so that also coming in quite nicely. The first ones are already on the coupling service. And again, hopefully when everything comes down a bit, we will get some more added in here. And these are the numbers. Overall, the portfolio did an all-time high, $2,342. So again, a very, very good graph showing the right profits all the way through. We are also going into Alex and a few videos that he actually sent out. This is one of them, where again, don't miss these 2 Forex opportunities. And he's talking about the copy link service. So all of these EAs that I've shown you here today, all of them are on the copy link service in here. You can go and have a look at our website, figure out which ones you want. You can find the numbers from the FX Blue in there, and then go to Alex's copy link service and then pick them out. So whatever you want, how many ever you want, there is no limitations for it in here. And he's also again talking about the grid trader, so the first generations, which is actually still for free, and then you can upgrade to generation 3 or even the new one, generation 4. There's another one, and I mentioned here before that Alex is into the simple series here now, and that is actually what he's developing now. So testing the new RSI, and this is the simple trading robot. So he has an RSI, but that has a lot of settings. This particular one only has around 5, so that makes it a lot more easy. Similar to the simple grid trader that he has recently launched in here, so that worked out quite nicely. And then the last video here, he is also showing some massive results, and obviously the Forex gains recorded this week. He's actually talking about the copy link service, and as we are part of that, you have seen our numbers in here already. They are quite massive. And if we go again on the copy link service site, where you can have a little Excel, it will show you some of all our accounts in here. All our accounts is always marked up with a nice little C, so you understand which ones they are. We have taken that Excel, taken the floating profit and loss, saying we only want to see the best ones in here, so anything below 300, so that's what we are interested in. And then at the same time, total negative weeks in the last 8 weeks, we don't want to have anything that goes above 300. You can see 184 did minus 240, so that's okay. 150 did 258. Some of the other ones did 27. We have one says 0, so maybe that went in the right direction. Minus 71, 12. Really good numbers. Return on total drawdown, well, it has to be more than 200, and they all are. And last but not least, then we put the gains in, so percentage-wise, high to low, and we're down at 12% for the last 8 weeks. Still doing quite well because there's hardly any risk. 14, 15, 20, 28. We have 26 in here. So again, it's jumping up to 50, 70, and 86%, filling 162C. So they're all doing extremely well in here overall. So these are the ones that you should start looking into when you want to build your portfolio. So, and then have a look at the currency pairs at the same time, which ones actually fit you. And from there on, hopefully you'll make a lot of money. So as you can see, there is huge profits for the month of April. All the EAs is running well. Drawdown is still very much under control. Obviously, we'd always like to do better, but it's looking okay. We are constantly updating, changing settings, changing grid sizes, everything else. Every time we learn something, every time we hear something in the markets, we obviously take it into our consideration. And that's also why many actually decide here for the coupling service to go in and copy our signals, because all the time and effort that it actually takes to continue to run EAs at an optimum level, well, not everybody has that kind of time. We have to make that time basically for the rest of our trading / investors in here for the coupling service. And as you can see, the numbers are looking extremely good. Both are the profits there, but also the drawdowns is very low for a lot of our EAs. And if you then at the same time combine them into portfolios, then even some of the EAs that might normally break one account, when they are traded together with 5 or 6 other ones, they will continue to work quite well. They will continue to cash in, even though they have a higher drawdown based on some of the crazy things that are happening in the Forex market here right now at the moment. So I hope that you enjoyed the video. Please give us a thumbs up and a like, and also a comment if you like what you see, or if you would like to see something else in the future presented in a different way. We are, of course, open to your suggestions. Otherwise, I hope to see you on my next video. Until then, bye-bye.
I hope you enjoyed our news report. So please don't forget to like and add your comment below, as we would love to get your feedback. But before you go, make sure you subscribe to the channel and don't forget to keep the notification bell turned on. That way, you will never miss any of our future videos. We hope to see you back on this channel very soon.